Have you ever looked at something like this and thought, wow, I wish I could do the same? No? Well, in any case, you can, and in this video, I'll teach you how to do just that. I'll break it into two main components as usual, and I'll also talk about some of the mistakes people make and how to master it the quickest. A 90-degree hold, or bent arm planche as I like to call it, because, there's no 90 degrees here, is quite simple, so mastering it shouldn't take much time if you know what to focus on. Pretty much 80% of it is just your shoulder and chest strength. If we compare it to other skills, I would put it somewhere close to advanced stock planche, even though they're not on the same path, as the 90-degree hold is done with bent arms, and the regular planche uses straight arm strength. That's why I think it deserves a separate skill tree. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a big advocate for strength, and this skill is no exception. First of all, how strong you need to be. If you want to be safe, I'd go for at least 25 regular push-ups with good form, as well as 25 clean push-ups with your hands closed. This is the base you can't skip. Preferably, you should also be doing dips, as well as shoulder press as an alternative. Remember that it all depends on how strong you are relative to your body weight. Some people will need more strength for the skill, some people won't train at all, and they'll do it by just trying. But if you want to master any skill, I'd always recommend doing general strength training, which includes weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups, weighted dips, and core exercises. Core is always important. I sometimes overlook how important it is and then have to pay for it with some of my progress. Remember that the core is not just your six-pack, it's the whole cylinder that includes your lower back as well. Now the second part, which is the skill itself. The closer your arms are, the easier the skill is. You can make it easier by pushing your elbows into your stomach, but I'd say that's cheating and doesn't really count as a bent arm planche. If anything, it's more of an elbow lever, which simply means that you lack strength. However, if you're starting from absolute zero, this exercise will give you an understanding of how far you need to lean, so it's definitely worth doing. In case you don't know, if you want to hold this skill, as well as an actual planche, your hands must always be directly below the center of mass in your body, which is close to a waistline here. It's simple physics. You cannot hold a planche like this. By the way, you can easily tell if someone has just jumped into a planche to take a picture or is really holding it. As I said, your hands must be directly below the center of mass, which means you have to lean forward and then try pushing away from the floor. If you lean far enough, you will simply come off the ground like this. The very first thing you want to try is a 90-degree push-up hold. As I said, your hands must be near the waistline. You should be able to comfortably hold this for at least 10 seconds. If you cannot do it straight away, start with a regular push-up hold and lean further each time until you can hold this position. Ideally, we want a straight line both here and in a bent arm planche, but most likely you'll have an arched back. To counter this, we want to slightly go to the opposite side and apply some protraction. Another great exercise for this skill specifically is pseudo planche push-ups. The difference between these and push-ups with your hands closed is that in pseudo you lean forward and stay there throughout the whole exercise. If you do it the right way, it's really hard, but the point is to keep leaning forward to have the best effect. Also record yourself because sometimes it's hard to tell if your form is good or not. As you get better at planche push-up hold, start lifting your feet off the ground one by one, or if you're feeling comfortable, two at a time. Another point worth noting is that many people find it easier to learn static skills on parallettes. So if you have those, then definitely give it a try using the same method I described earlier. I also said that I would mention mistakes that people make. Well, the first one is not leaning forward, which is quite retarded, so I don't think many people would do that. Still worth mentioning though. The second mistake is, you guessed it, lack of strength. The absolute minimum requirement for this skill is 20 push-ups, while some people only do 10. Now, trying to learn bent arm planche with 10 push-ups is like Stephen Hawking trying to beat Mike Tyson in a boxing match. It's just not gonna work. Let's say the best you can do is 10 push-ups. The fastest way to master this skill is to build the necessary amount of strength first. I would recommend doing a ladder workout 3 to 4 times per week because it's easy and also because it's fun. Here's how it goes. You start with push-ups close to your max amount of reps, let's say 10. After that, switch over to dips and do 1 rep. Rest for 1 minute max and continue with 9 push-ups and 2 dips. You can see now where I'm going with this. Keep doing it till you reach 1 push-up and 10 dips. Once you're good enough and you can do 20 push-ups in a row, add some weights. This workout can honestly get you the strength you need for the skill, but we also want to learn the skill itself, so here's another workout which will add to your plan. Start with the hardest exercise you can do, in this case a 90-degree lean plus raise, and then move on to easier progressions. Do this workout 2 to 3 times a week alongside the ladder workout, and soon you will see results guaranteed. And that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, chances are you're interested in other skills like front lever. If you want to master it in less than a year, DM me on Instagram. I offer a personalized step-by-step course that will guarantee you results no matter your genetics. The link is below, and I'll see you in the next one.